yes, indeed. We had started a project of remote working 2 years ago. It was a very slow start, but it worked. We have some teams. Just to be honest, was not a massive number of people who are already eligible to home working, but roughly maybe slightly less than 10%. So it was because we were gradually implementing it. So we had already, as I said, roughly 10% of our staff who are already in remote working. So how did it work? It was at the choice of the employee, either 1 day per week, 1 day fixed day per week, or two floating day per month. Now, I think our main concern before the crisis, I would say, was eligibility of staff, because, as you know, we are also dealing with sensible operations. So, first of all, not all of our staff were equipped with laptop. So we were gradually equipping all staff with laptop, but we were not at 100%. And then we were also gradually assessing the operational link to this home working and remote working to ensure the eligibility to home working for people who are processing sensible transactions such as payment or on the market intervention, etc. So that was the assessment that we were doing to gradually offer the home working to the maximum of our staff. But it was very slow. It was very slow, and the crisis has changed everything. Totally different approach, and of course, the maximum of home working has been effectively deployed in a record time of, let's say, 3 weeks. So first of all, we had to equip all the staff who were not equipped with laptop, and there was a kind of we had a bottleneck with the delivery of laptop, because at one point all laptops were made and delivered from China. So we had a problem to get the laptops, so we got them finally. We also developed a possibility to work from home from their own device, for people from their own device, so they connect to the network of the bank, but from their own device, which could create a problem with families, because the own device only from sometimes one laptop was mobilized by the employee of BNP Paribas to work, so at the detriment of children or the rest of the family. So we also now we gradually continue to equip all our staff with corporate laptops, and we worked on additional controls. I think that was on this all the critical processes which were not eligible at the time to home working. We developed additional controls for one classical one. And when you do a transaction, usually you have 4 eyes. The one who does the 2 eyes of the person who is doing the transaction, then validation, and then maybe a 4 eyes validation. So we developed in some transaction 6 eyes validation, to ensure that there is really a control, more reinforced control. We obtained from our head office what we call some waivers. Due to the crisis, I think the bank all in all accepted to waive some of the activities, to have some waivers from some activities who are not eligible, who became eligible. The bank has still considered that some activities, but very, very little, were not eligible to home working. So we have gradually come to in 2 weeks' time. So that was a real rush linked to the crisis and to the pandemic. So in 3 weeks' time, we have been able to equip and to have 95% of our staff working from home. We are in a crisis mode. Let's face it, we are in a crisis mode. We are not on a usual mode. So the feedback is, first, is great because they feel safe. they consider that we have done the maximum, and really for these 3 weeks, specifically the IT teams have worked as mad during weekends, during to receive the new PCs, to configure them, to deliver them to the staff. So they are very, very grateful to the company to have done all this work in a record time, and they are feeling safe. So, main benefit is definitely, and then when we will be in a normal mode, when schools will reopen, and when we'll be in a normal mode, I think the main benefit, and that's we will not go back. I think for what we can also assure and we can say, the world of tomorrow will not be the world of 3 months ago. Or 2 months ago. So the world has changed, this pandemic, and I think everyone recognize it on all front that the world is going to change. So the main benefit is effectively more flexibility, less stress, maybe also due to the transportation. People can organize themselves more as they wish. Now I think there are challenges as well, because we need to. And I think it's also what is important to mention is that all the teams who are now in home working, they knew each other. They have worked together for months, years, whatever, because they have been in the company for some time. So they know each other. So it's easy to re-establish contact when you know someone you have been working physically close contact with these people. With time, I think we need to also to make sure that there are some natural turnover, new joiners, people leaving. So I think it's just our main challenge now. We are still recruiting. That I think is really something that we are very proud of. There is one question later on that, but we are still recruiting. But we need to onboard these people, to welcome them. So we have never, except during the during the recruitment interview, but the managers, they never really interacted with these people. So I think we need to really rethink of how we are going to onboard the people. And then the communication, I think the main challenge is communication. So, the main challenge, I think there was a technical challenge first, is to, with this massive number of people in home working, is to ensure that the network are solid enough, that the bandwidth is, and we had some struggle at the beginning, and IT again has worked, IT staff and IT people have worked really as mad to increase the capacity. So there is a technical, that's not HR topic, but there is this technical limitation, but now it's solved. But I think the communication channel needs to be reinforced. We need to have calls, we need to have video, we need to have yes, video calls or whatever, but because I think nothing replaces, and that from an HR point of view, I'm still convinced, and more even now, that nothing replaces the physical interaction with people. You can see that you can solve a problem very easily when you talk to someone, just to cross the floor and you talk to someone, you solve a problem. Today, every single problem takes much more time to solve, because you need to call one person, organize a call, and then you don't. Sometimes the body language is important as well. You don't see the people because we are not using too much the videos, because that's a recommendation from our IT staff. Video is using a lot of bandwidth. So we receive a recommendation not to use massively the video. We do it when need be, but not as a priority. So everything is by call. Today we haven't faced major or even less operational risk. So no incident, no errors, normal one, but no major errors. So that I think is a good news. The operational risk, what we call the operational risk, is limited, and the productivity in some areas have increased. People are more productive because they are more concentrated, less disturbed by colleagues or whatever. And we have seen that in some area, the productivity has increased. So it's all factors that we will have to take into consideration, for sure, for sure.